Good day, my dear students. Хайырлы күн, құрметті білім алушылар. Сабағымыз қашықтан оқыту технологиясы бойынша өтіледі. So today our lesson will be in distance learning. Мәншүк Мәметова атындағы педагогикалық жоғары колледжінің шетел тілі бөлімі оқытушысы, ағылшын тілі пәні оқытушысы Ибрагимова Сания Ермагамбетовна. So today our lesson theme is London. So our subject is English, and the keywords of our lesson will be the Tower of London, Big Ben, Trafalgar Square, Birmingham Palace, Tower Bridge, and St. Paul's Cathedral. Яғни бүгінгі жаңа сабағымыздың кілт сөздері: Лондон мұнарасы, Big Ben, Трафалгар алаңы, Birmingham Palace, Buckingham сарайы, мұнаралы көпір және Әулие Павел шіркеуі. So if you want to see more about London, or if you want to look for another informations about London, you can look from these sites. Яғни егер де сіз Лондон жайлы ақпарат, жаңа басқаша ақпараттар алғыңыз келсе, мынау ұсынылып отырған цифрлық ресурстар арқылы іздеп көре аласыздар. So London. London is the capital of Great Britain. It's political, economic, and cultural center. It's one of the largest cities in the world. Its population is more than 1 million people, and London is situated on the River Thames. The city is very old and beautiful. And London is divided into several parts. They are the city, the West End, the East End, and Westminster. The city is the oldest part of London, and its financial and the business center. The heart of the city is the stock exchange. Westminster is the most important part of the capital. It's the administrative center, we may say, and the houses of parliament and seat of the British Commonwealth are there. Яғни Лондон ағылшын, Англия және Ұлыбританияның астанасы, әрі ең ірі мегаполис болып саналады. Британ аралдарындағы ең үлкен арал, Европадағы ең ірі урбандық аймақ деп айтамыз. Халқы 8 миллионнан асады. Яғни халық санынан айтатын болсақ, 18-ші орында тұр. Лондон Гринвич меридиан үстінде орналасқан. These photos are taken from different sites. And Big Ben. So next I'm going to speak about this sightseeing of London. Яғни Лондонның көрнекі жерлері. Big Ben. The name Big Ben is generally known to describe the clock tower as a whole, and however, the Big Ben is actually the principal bell within the tower, and there are two theories of how the bell got its name. The first suggests that it was taken from the nickname of a champion heavyweight boxer of the time called Big Count, and the second and a more probable explanation is that it was named after the bulky Welshman Sir Benjamin Hall, who was the first commissioner of works from 1855 to 1858, and those name was inscribed on the bell. And the next place is Buckingham Palace. This is the official London residence of head minister Queen Elizabeth II. The palace became the official royal palace of the British monarch in 1837, and is now the world's largest walking royal palace, we may say. And these photos are taken from different sites, and these photos of Buckingham Palace. The next is Hyde Park. The city of London is well known for its large and beautiful parks. Hyde Park is the largest of London royal parks. It's about 2 kilometers long, kilometers long and over 1 kilometer wide. And Hyde Park is a popular area for free time activities including jogging, bragging, and horse riding. And Speaker's Corner near the northeastern entrance of Hyde Park is a place where Londoners gather and listen to people who talk about all kinds of things. Hyde Park Лондондағы ең үлкен атақты 2 километр ұзындықта созылып жатқан және 1 километр ұзындықта 1 километр көлемі 1 километр және бұл жақта Хайд паркте әртүрлі спорттың түрлерімен бос уақыт өткізуге, спорттың түрлерімен айналысуға көптеген адамдар сол жаққа жиналады. Және де Лондонның көрнекі жері ретінде туристер қыдырып барып көруге барады. Next is Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge, яғни көпір. Tower Bridge has stood over the River Thames in London since 1894, one of the most iconic landmarks of London. It's not to be confused with London Bridge upstream. It's over 143 feet above the river, and at the high tide, the towers themselves are 213 feet tall and sit on the piers of the river. The Victorian Gothic architecture was designed to Amazon with the Tower of London, and it's called Tower Bridge because of its location near the tower. And next is Trafalgar Square and Nelson's Column. Trafalgar Square was built to commemorate Admiral Nelson on his victory in the Battle of Trafalgar. The present architecture of the square, completed in 1845, is by Sir Charles Barry. And these are photos of Trafalgar Square. Next is the Tower of London, London Munarası. And if we say about Tower of London, more formally known as Her Majesty Palace and the Fortress, and Tower of London is most famously known as a prison, яғни бұрынғы кезде түрме ретінде саналған. So, enemies of the state were brought to it along the Thames. And next is the Tower of London, and it's most famously known as a prison, яғни бұрынғы кезде түрме ретінде қолданылған. And the next is St. Paul's Cathedral. The current cathedral, the first to occupy this site, was designed by the court architect Sir Christopher Wren and was built between 1675 and 1710 after its predecessor was destroyed in the Great Fire of London. In the crypt are effigies and fragments of stone that predate the cathedral relics of medieval world. And here, the funerals of Lord Nelson and Duke of Wellington and Sir Winston Churchill have taken place here, and the wedding of Charles, Prince of Wales, to Lady Diana Spencer. Яғни бұл жерде көптеген атақты адамдардың үйлену тойлары және осы жақта тойланған. And this is Queen's Theatre. The Queen's Theatre is a West End theatre located in Shaftesbury Avenue in the city of Westminster. So it's very beautiful theatre. And London Eye, Londonның көзі деп аталады. London Eye is one of London's newest landmarks, specially built to open in 21st century. And at 135 meters and it's the tallest wheel of its kind and sits on the south bank of the river. So this is London Eye. This is Natural History Museum. The Natural History Museum is one of the 3 large museums of Exhibition Road, South Kensington and London, England. The others are the Science Museum and the Victoria and Albert Museum. The next is Westminster Abbey, located just to the west of the Palace of Westminster. It's a traditional place of coronation and burial site for English, later British, later still monarchs of the Commonwealth realms. The next is London Zoo. London Zoo is the world's oldest scientific zoo. It was opened in London on 27th of April in 1828 and was originally intended to be used as a collection for scientific study. And the next photo is the photo of port. The Port of London is to the east of the city. Here are miles and miles of docks and the great industrial areas that depend upon shipping. This is the east end of London, unattractive in appearance but very important to the country's commerce. So, my home task will be task 1 and task 2. In the first task, you have to put questions to the given sentences. So they are: its population is about 8.5 million. London is a multinational city with large immigrant population from Britain, colonials, especially from South Asia and West Indies. The most important parts of London are the City of London and the East End, West End, and Westminster. The fourth is: the city is the oldest part of London and its commercial center of London, and London's the most important firms and banks have their offices there. Here the visitors will find all the most interesting buildings: theaters, movies, houses, museums, picture galleries, shops, offices, and galleries. 6. London has many great and wonderful sights which attract the attention of thousands of people from every part of the world. And the last one is: there are many beautiful buildings in London, and among them are the Houses of Parliament, the Bank of England, the British Museum and galleries are world known too, and among them the National Gallery, the Tate Gallery, and the Victoria and Albert Museum. And in the second task, you have to make up a dialogue on the theme London using the keywords. So, at the end of my lesson, I have some questions, and you can write your opinions, or you can answer to my questions. So the first question is: what do you think about my lesson? And the second is: what do you saw in this video or in this lesson, and why you were shown this video? Яғни сабағымыз аяқталды. Бұл бейне жазбада сіздерге арнайы сабақтың соңында 3 сұрақ қойғым келеді. Бұл бейне жазба туралы не айтасыз? Бейне жазбада не көрдіңіз? Бұл бейне жазба сізге не үшін көрсетілді? Және де үй тапсырмалары: бірінші тапсырма және екінші тапсырма. Бірінші тапсырмада берілген сөйлемдерге сұрақ қоюыңыз қажет. Екінші тапсырмада берілген кілт сөздер арқылы қолдана отырып Лондон тақырыбында диалог құрастыру. Сау болыңыздар. Көңіл бөлгендеріңізге рахмет.